So was this one of the worst games ever, or in a long time? It wasn't pretty, but you know what they say:
A win
every
is a
win
win.
is a win. But, production value. I had it lined up. Jeez. Oh well. But yeah, I think Yuki might have changed the title of it. But anyway, we don't need to roll opening. Yeah. I mean, the good news is, I guess this is the Vikings' third shutout since, well, second shutout since '93. They beat the Lions 16-0 that year. Then that really cold game in Green Bay was 13-0.
2017, yeah.
Yeah, that was the other game. Uh,
What was the other shutout?
Lions '93. I think it was 93.
13. We beat them. We beat the
Six
Lions
of
in 93, 13-0 in Detroit.
Yep. Then the 17-0, 16-0 Packers, and then the 3-0.
We shut out Tampa Bay 15-0.
Well, no, I'm talking since '93.
Yeah, we shut out Tampa Bay 15-0 in 93.
Hey, you're probably right.
Yeah, we shut them out at the Metrodome. We lost to them in Tampa Bay, but we shut them out at the Metrodome that year.
Yeah, so it was the lowest scoring game in 16 years. Tonight's game. Uh, yeah, the Brand football game. It should have been technically it should have been 6-0 because Greg Joseph missed a field goal.
Yeah,
But
he missed a what, a 47-yarder?
yeah, and it was the first 3-0 game since Pittsburgh beat Miami November 26, 2007, the third in the last 40 years, and the seventh in the Super Bowl era. The last game that ended in regulation, a scoreless 0-0 tie, was between the Giants and the Lions in 1943.
Yep.
But they had 230 total yards. At one time, they were negative in passing yards because of all the sacks
Yeah.
that they got from.
The offensive line once again looked bad.
Yes.
Um,
Well, was that because Ingram wasn't playing and they were missing the continuity?
no, Ingram hasn't really played well the last couple of games. And you still got Marshmallow Bradbury in there who still does not look good.
Well,
Um,
yeah, two evils because you want the Vikings to lose everything. But even if they go even if they go 7-10, they're not going to be in a position to take one of the top picks.
right. I
I'm,
think
I'm,
the rest. I think the rest of the way, KOC is probably going to go with Mullins.
no, that was what year? That was Rich. Was that Rich Carlos or Ryan Longwell that kicked all those field goals? Like it was like seven. It was like 16. It was all field goals.
That was Rich Carlos in '89.
18 to 30. It was 21 to 18 was the final of this game, but they were all field goals, right?
It was 23-21 because Mike
Yeah.
Mayweather blocked a punt in overtime.
But the Vikings never scored a touchdown in that game.
Vikings never scored a touchdown that game.
Yeah.
Now that's the one where Jerry Burns had his famous post conference tirade. That's the game.
So let's start off by saying we all appreciate what Josh Dobbs did those two games.
Mm-hmm.
But you and I, D Woods, and I think it was somebody else, all said that Dobbs is Dobbs and don't expect him to keep playing like he's played. So pretty much it started the second half of the Saints game. People seem to figure him out from the second half of the Saints game. The second half of the Saints game was not good, and of course, then you saw what he did against the Broncos. Now, granted, Vikings still probably pretty much the Vikings should not have a loss either one of those last two games because the Broncos needed a last second touchdown, and the Bears game was just a disaster. So I guess you could say if they deserved to lose anything, it was that one. Um, I was actually surprised that KOC pulled Dobbs because he doesn't usually do stuff like that.
Starting to wonder if he got somebody got in his ear from the top.
We
I
are
mean,
late tonight because of me, my brother. I apologize. I had some husbandly duties to take care of. No, not that kind. But yeah, um, and my wife didn't tell me until she went to bed, and she's like, so yeah. Um, but yeah, I someone asked me, uh, I think it was Dave because I was on First and School
mhm.
when they first ended, and he asked me if I can remember, uh,
You'll get one. You'll get one,
and
Skull. You'll get
I
one.
told him I couldn't remember a game this bad. It's been a while. Josh Freeman game comes to Josh Freeman comes to mind, but that was more on the Vikings side because the Giants were not actually as bad. Both teams were bad this game. That for Josh Freeman game, the Giants were actually pretty good. I think it was what 23-7, something like that. The Josh Freeman game.
Yeah, something like that. 23.
So the Giants were not bad. Both teams were bad. Um, I guess the closest thing would be that 2017 Packer game because the weather was just so bad. Neither team played well. But yeah, I don't think it's been a while. I can't remember one off the top of my head last time both teams were this bad. 71, but I wasn't alive then. I know they had a really bad game in 71.
71. Now, here's the good part about that. We beat the Packers at Met Stadium 3-0. But the game wasn't televised in the Twin Cities because home games were not televised.
Hey,
So we had
Mama
to hear it
Mary.
on the radio. Hey, Mary. But I remember that game because that was the first year I started paying attention to Viking football. And I remember all the names that my dad was calling the Viking quarterbacks and the Viking offense because we couldn't move the ball. It took we got some timely turnovers during the game, but we couldn't stop John Brockington from running the ball. I think he had over 150 yards. And it took like a couple of key interceptions for that to happen. Yeah, Trish, hey babe, she was on the phone with me all day during the game. She
I'm sure you got. Hey, I'm sure you guys talked about the Falcons game too.
for me, we did talk about the Falcons game. Yeah, we did. For me, this Viking game, I'm going to be honest with you, is probably the worst one I've seen in recent memory. Probably, I saw a really bad game in '82. We played the Colts. We won
Yeah,
13-10, but that game was bad. That game was bad. Um, Other than that, this was like no, we played Tampa Bay in '77, but once again, as bad as that game was, I didn't see it on TV. The game was blacked out. Um, but yeah, this is to sit here. I mean, I survived watching the whole damn game today. I mean, there were times where I'm like, I'm gonna go I wanted to take a nap. I wanted to lay down. I'm like, I don't want to watch this. It just had that feel that neither one of these teams wanted to win this game. They were playing not to lose.
yeah. That's the feeling I got. Which it seems like Kevin KLC does that a lot.
He just there I go. KLC just does not have it, folks. He does not have the killer instinct. He does not know how to go for the jugular. He just doesn't. He plays it safe and he hopes to have enough points to win it at the end. And now that he's got a defense, he probably feels like he doesn't need to put up a lot of points to win. He's got a legitimate defense. The problem is he's letting that defense go to waste with that poor offense that he's putting on the field. I mean, backup quarterback or no backup quarterback, injuries or not, every team has them. You still devise a game plan to work with what you've got that's left healthy. You work to their strengths. He doesn't have it, and I'm going to keep. And the sad thing is, With this performance today by Brian Flores' defense, you're probably Brian Flores is probably going to be at the top of the list for another head coaching job at the end of the season.
Do you think he'll get one though?
Yeah, he'll get one. He'll get one.
You don't think that he's going to still be blackballed?
No, because the NFL's got bigger problems with John Gruden. And there's already talk that Gruden is going to get another job in the NFL. It's what'll happen is with the lawsuit is if depending on how they feel it, depending on the team, they might have him sign a waiver to drop the suit. They might have him sign something to drop the suit or still hire him with the suit. I mean, put it this way, he's had the suit now and he's still coaching in the NFL. So there really aren't any other head coaching candidates out there that have done as much as Flores this year, except maybe Eric Bieniemy. So, and I think Bieniemy's probably going to get the Washington gig. But yeah, we could lose KLC at the end of the season.
Yeah, So, were you surprised that he pulled Dobbs?
I was very surprised. I did not. When I saw Mullins go in the game, I'm like, you're kidding me. He pulled him. He finally pulled him. He probably did it 2 games too late, but he pulled him. And I mean, Mullins didn't look that much better, but at least Mullins got the ball upfield. He got the ball in receiver's hands. He knows where to put the ball.
Yeah, because I was saying if the Vikings and KOC want to run the offense like Cousins is still the quarterback, then you have to play Mullins because he's the most like
Cousins. Mullins could do that, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he won't be as good at it, but he's better than doing it than Hall, and especially Dobbs. I mean, the one thing you cannot do as a quarterback, you can miss high, you can miss slow, you can miss left, you can miss in front of him, you can miss behind him. But a wide receiver will tell you, I don't care where you miss as long as it's not high. And what was he doing? He was high. He got Alexander Madison killed. He got Justin Jefferson killed. The one that hit Naylor in the face mask was high, but it still shouldn't have been that high. That should have been a chest pass, not a face mask pass.
Well, I'm going to come to Dobbs' credit for a couple of passes because I'll tell you what, KJ Osborne had a case of the drops today. He had another bad case of the drops. He had 2 passes that were right in his hands, and he dropped them. That's KJ Osborne. But yeah, you can't lead receivers. But here's the thing, though. Good receivers go up and get those passes regardless. And give JJ credit. He went up for that pass. Now, JJ took a shot, which is going to happen.
Actually had to end up going to the hospital to get checked out further for it.
Right, which is here's the thing. Guys are still going to play defense, people. These defensive players are still out there, and they're still going to hit you if you catch the ball, regardless if you catch it or not. That's just football. So, it's with today's rules, the wide receivers feel that they can run across the middle and not have to not get any hits or they catch a flag or whatever. JJ caught the ball, but he took a hit. He took a shot, and he was stretched out there. It's going to happen.
It was definitely the hits on the receivers today for the Raiders were definitely old school hits. Now, the one against was that Addison or was it Naylor? That should have been a penalty. The helmet.
Yeah, there was a couple of them.
Yeah, that should have been a penalty. I got the link for T-Bass or anybody who wants to.
Which I'm surprised there wasn't. They kind of let them play, but and here's another thing too. If you're the Vikings, don't design a play to send your star wide receiver over the middle. Don't. He's still going to get hit. You got 3 other receivers that can do the dirty work in the middle. You got Hawkinson that can do the dirty work in the middle. Don't send Jefferson into the middle of the field.
Yeah.
That's just coaching, and that's all coaching. And while we're on the subject of coaching, let's talk about how the wide receivers today got no separation from the DBs. They got no. They could not get any separation at all, which is why Dobbs was probably hanging on to the ball. He's just waiting for the receivers to get open. They weren't getting any separation, and the offensive line. I mean, we lost how many? 3 offensive linemen today? What, 3?
O'Neal, Reisner went out for a little bit. Ingram didn't even
Ingram was
start.
inactive.
Yeah, Ingram didn't even start.
Yeah.
And so Reisner,
So you're basically
O'Neal, so Quisenberry.
Yeah, so Quisenberry played that tackle spot, and Darisaw didn't look good today either.
Hey, Sarah, I dropped the link. T-Bass, I dropped the link if you guys want to join. Frozen, I think you mentioned you might join one day, but
today was just one of them ugly games. Oh, it was ugly on the offensive side of the ball. The defense, you could not ask anything more of this defense than what they did today.
No, the defense. I mean, that's the best defense we've seen since 2017.
Yeah. It's you couldn't. Brian Flores got, and they're playing Aiden. You're playing Aiden O'Connell, but you still got Jacobs, a running back. You still got Devontae Adams, but you can't for Flores to do what he did with that defense today, and to not have any help from his offense, which is the property of the head coach who calls the plays.
This tells you how bad the game was. That time of possession was pretty much even.
Yeah.
Because you didn't worry about that. Because I'm like, oh man, is the Vikings defense going to get tired being on the field? And then I looked at time of possession, and it was like Raiders at the time I looked, the Raiders were 18 minutes, and the Vikings were at 16 minutes. I'm like, oh, the defense is not going to get tired if this keeps up.
No. Well, there were a lot of 3 and outs. Hey, Sarah, what's up?
I'm going to let you two talk because my dog needs food, water, or something. I don't know.
Okay.
You there, Sarah? Oh, she's muted. Never mind.
She's muted.
I wish she was.
But yeah, I mean,
I said, if this was last year's defense, good God, we would have made Aiden O'Connell look like Tom Brady 2.0.
Oh my God, yes. he would have looked like friggin' Tom Brady, Ken Stabler, Jim Plunkett, and all the other ones combined. If this was Donatello's defense, and like I said, with what Brian Flores did today and what he's done all year, and to have your head coach who's calling the offense to be utter garbage.
I don't think it's all on KOC though. I think a lot of it is on Dobbs too.
But the beginning of the year, those games we lost early, and the defense hadn't got their footing yet. But since the defense has got their footing, and they were putting it together there for 3-4 straight games before Cousins got hurt, and then when Dobbs comes in, you win those 2 games. But when Dobbs runs with the ball, today they flashed onto KLC when Dobbs ran with the ball and got the first down. KLC dropped an F-bomb. He dropped an F-bomb watching him run. He did not want to see him run. It's like he put an offense in there that was built for Kirk, but it didn't work to Dobbs' strengths, which we still don't know what they are, but moving on his feet. But then Dobbs was just.
But he fumbles a lot, and he throws INTs a lot. So
and that's going to happen too because he's a backup.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but it's kind of like, it's hard to trust somebody who, if he runs, he fumbles. If he throws, he INTs. It's like you're stuck.
Well, here's another thing too, Sarah. If you'll agree with this one, the Vikings were running the ball today, and once again, he stopped.
I don't know what you want.
He stopped. I'm like, what are you doing? Are you allergic to running the ball? Do you get like cramps or something running the ball? Run the damn ball. It's working. And he abandoned it. I mean, today he actually let CJ Ham run with the ball, and Ham got positive yards. It's a lot of it is play calling, but when you have the injuries like we've had, KOC as a coach and as an offensive coordinator has to adjust. He hasn't done it. What's up, T-Bass?
Hey, are you guys on the page with me? I know he's a rookie, but Jordan Addison is not a number one. I think he's proved that.
No, I said that earlier. He's not. He's proven
He's you know what? He looked like he was there for a minute, but now he's come back down to earth quick.
Yeah, the tape's out on him.
Yeah,
He can't get separation.
He's come back down to earth. The one rookie that I was impressed with and have been impressed with all year, Ivan Pace Jr. The stud.
Well, it's Flores. It's Brian Flores. I mean, it's scary what they're going to be next year when Flores leaves. I keep on saying it. I'm not thrilled with this. See, I'm in a little different situation where I grew up and where I'm from. I'm not in Minnesota, so all my buddies are fans of different teams, and we like to give each other the business. Right. And believe me, I've been getting the business the last few weeks. Like, even tonight already, I'm getting text messages. But I was like watching paint dry. Have fun in the playoffs. I mean, last week, my Bear fan buddy. Yeah, you guys say the Bears suck, but at least we admit to it, and it's just frustrating. TYA was on a discussion yesterday with me. There's a lot of people who think that it's going to be an instant fix going out and drafting a quarterback. And TYA was kind of with me, guys, it ain't that easy. More times than not, you're not going to get the guy, even if it's a first-round pick.
More times out of time. Here's the thing. Now you got to seriously think about this. Do you really want your next franchise quarterback to be developed by KOC?
No, because that's what I'm getting at, too. The direction the Vikings are going right now is not a way to build a Super Bowl winning team. I don't care about how great JJ is and how great Daniil Hunter is. The rest of the team is at best average.
It's a very average team. Very average.
You have to build a team up through the draft before you start going to get big-name free agents and getting your quarterback. And there's too many fans that think drafting a quarterback is instantly going to solve everything. They're going to get their franchise guy.
No.
Where it's not going to happen.
Here's the thing, T-Bass. With the Vikings, everything is about competitive rebuild. That's their catchphrase, competitive rebuild. They can still compete as they rebuild, and we know damn well that's not true. You're going to have to tear it down and start all over again eventually.
So I asked a question last night, and I'm sure the answer is going to be yes for you. If they got a new GM and he came on and said, we're going to get really bad to get really good, and we're trading away our stars draft pick. And if it worked 5 years down the line, the Vikings won a Super Bowl, would you be fine with them trading JJ and trading Hunter and acquiring draft pick if they won a Super Bowl in 5 years?
If they won a Super Bowl.
Yes. A lot of people are scared to say, yeah, I'd be fine with trading.
Hell yeah.
I'd be fine, but I mean, that's not guaranteed that that'll happen, though.
Well,
it's not guaranteed we win one with JJ.
No, I'm just saying.
Because we don't have the team around them.
Just say well, yeah, of course I would say yes to that because, the question is, would we be fine? Well, yeah, but I mean, the thing is we don't know.
Here's the problem I'm scared about with JJ. It may become another Kirk Cousins situation where we pay out this huge contract, keep kicking cap salary down the line, not drafting well. We can't bring in quality free agents, and we're just stuck in this limbo of, we're a 9-10 win team. We get to the playoffs, but everybody, their hearts know we don't have.
You know what changes that, T-Bass? You shake up the front office. You got to shake up the front office for that to happen, because the front office is part of the problem right now.
Well, maybe that's why they didn't. Foles turned it down because he came in and said, "Here's my blueprint. I want to rebuild." And the Wills were like, "No, I'm not going to do that."
That is exactly why Poles did not take this
But
job.
why do we need to rebuild if we already have pieces?
We don't have pieces.
We have very
So you're
little
saying
people.
everyone on the team sucks?
No, we don't. This defense right now, let's just be honest. This defense is playing above its head because they got the right coach. We don't know what they're going to do with another coach. And a lot of the players that they have starting on this defense are at best on other teams' backups and special teamers. Your only dominant pass rusher is Daniil Hunter.
Well, Wanham has stepped up this year, but is Wanham
Wanham is not a dominant pass rusher. Nowhere near it. Wanham is like a second tier outside linebacker.
The Vikings made Max Crosby look like the best pass rusher today.
Well, Max is actually legit, dude. Max is legit.
Well, I know, but
because like the Lions have been rebuilding for 60 years and it's gone nowhere too. So
but the Lions have had some really bad front office decisions too.
But I'm just saying, like the idea of keep.
Yeah, but Sarah, we haven't won a Super Bowl either. So I mean,
what I don't understand is why do we need to?
but
why do we need to take everything down to rebuild it when we have pieces? We
unlike the
build
Lions,
upon
though.
that.
Unlike the Lions, though, the Vikings have actually been competitive for most of those years.
We've had competitive teams. We just haven't been able to get over the edge.
The clock's ticking on me. I want to see.
It's clicking on all of us, but I mean, would you rather be? My question is, instead of your question, T-Bass, is would you like to be in the position that the Rams are in right now? No draft picks, but you got that ring a couple of years ago.
Yeah, but now you know what? You got a ring.
Mm-hmm.
You got a ring.
My question.
I mean, and put it this way: for those of us that saw those Super Bowls they lost back in the day, hell yeah, we want a ring before we die. That's no few words are spoken. You know, so basically, if we get a ring and then the team sucks for the next 5 years, I'm cool with that. I got the ring.
Yeah.
You know, which is going to happen. But here's the thing: when you have to have a vision to get that ring. Right now, this team doesn't even have this team's vision is to just make the postseason and let's see what happens from there. That's it. And that starts from the top. And you can't have that. When they started out with this competitive rebuild that Mark Wilf said, that was a kiss of death right there. There is no such thing as a competitive rebuild. You have to tear it all down and rebuild.
It's called reloading.
It's not even reloading on the Vikings' part.
Yeah, I know. But like in college football, it'd be considered reloading.
It's like you're putting another cartridge in the gun of blanks. You know, it's as long as, and I've said this before, as long as there's still butts in the seats at the stadium, they're happy. As long as they're better than the team in Wisconsin, they're happy.
Are they though?
I don't know. It's this whole thing with the front office, and it's just weird. I can't get nobody can tell me what the hell's going on because they're scared to lose their job. But I have heard this though. There is no direction with this team. Literally no direction. So
I don't know. That's hard for me to believe because if that's the case, then why would Brian Flores had come here then? If there's no direction or no vision.
Here's the deal. Flores wanted KLC wanted Flores here anyway.
I understand that, but if there was no vision, what would even tempt him to come here if there is no vision?
It's a bump in pay, and it's probably closer to being a head coach.
So I got a question for you, Tony. Maybe Sarah, you can weigh in on this as well. Everybody's talking about to keep Flores, pay him as a head coach. But don't you think paying a coordinator the same or around the same as your head coach is undermining the head coach?
That's
check
just
the 85 Bears.
that's like the same thing as people saying, "Oh, demote KOC and make Flores the head coach." You can't do that. You have to either just fire him, but you cannot demote him to become the OC and make Flores the head coach.
And another thing is,
Yeah, those are people who don't understand how things
and
work.
here's another thing too. The Wilfs aren't going to do that because the Wilfs went through hell or high water to hire KOC with all the bullshit with Harbaugh. So they're not going to fire KOC just to, elevate Brian Flores. They're not going to do it.
Think about the franchise right now. They are on their second choice for GM. They're on their second choice for the head coach, and they're on their second choice for the defensive coordinator.
They're on their second choice for the head coach because they didn't want the first choice over some BS. So that's their doing. That whole thing with Harbaugh is the Wilfs doing. The Wilfs and Andrew Miller. That's all on them. So when I say that they're not going to fire KOC for Flores, I say that because they're not going to fire KOC. That would mean they would have to admit they made a mistake.
No, I mean, I'm not saying fire him. I'm just saying like the people that were saying to demote him, that made like no freaking sense at all, because you can't keep a guy who was a head coach to become a coordinator.
And here's another thing too. Kevin O'Connell had the coordinator title in LA. He never called a play. And if you look at this offense now, you can see why of all the jobs that Kevin O'Connell had, he was never given play calling duties. You can see it. He's not good. He's not good at it. So to make him, I think he's in above his head right now. I do. I think the 13 wins last year, no matter how he won them, they were still wins, but you learn more from the losses, because when he lost big. I think the spotlight's just too big for him. It was like that in the playoffs, but the Wilfs had their talking point to where, guess what? The problem wasn't the players. The problem was Zimmer and Spielman. And now this year, it's all on KOC and this regime. This is all theirs. So I would love to keep Brian Flores. You never know. He signed a 2-year deal, but I think he can leave should he get a head coaching position. I think some team is going to be willing to give him a head coaching job.
I don't know. I mean, I think people just want to win, and the minute we lose, it's like fire everybody. Because I mean, the same thing like when San Francisco lost those 3 games, all those San Fran fans were like calling for Shanahan's head too, And so I think that fans just don't like to lose, and fans don't
like to lose. And now here's the thing: now keep an eye on Philadelphia, because they're getting their asses kicked. They're not.
And you know what we're going to hear? Fire Sirianni.
You're going to hear Sirianni should be gone, but that's just fans over, and those aren't real fans.
Sorry, I have issues with my dog.
Those aren't. The ones that if there's a lot of us, like I think, who said it here? T-Bass. We're not fans of KOC from day one. I'm one of them. I was not a KOC fan. I wanted Harbaugh. KOC was a consolation prize.
But I mean, regardless of who's our coach, I'm still going to support the team.
I'm supporting the team, but you know what? When you've got a coach, and from someone who lived through Steckel, Tice, Childress, Frazier, when you're supporting the team and you just look at the team and you're like, what the F are you doing on Sundays that you can't fix these obvious problems that are there? Then the frustration comes out. Then the rants come out. It's like, you're getting paid how much money? You were put in this title to fix some things, and you ain't doing it. Matter of fact, you're creating more problems that you probably shouldn't be. It's frustrating.
Zoe actually made a good analogy today. KOC is Brad Childress.
Yeah, Brad Childress 2.0.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't agree with that.
He's got the same resume. Brad Childress got the gig.
Now, KOC's not an asshole like Childress was.
No, KOC's too nice to a fault.
Which is why I was surprised he pulled Dobbs, because usually he's too nice.
He's too. That's why I think somebody got in his ear. I'm just going to be honest. I think somebody got in KOC's ear.
Maybe Wes Phillip. Wes like, hey, we got to make a change. I knew Dobbs was going to play like this. That's why I got my DUI, man.
God. You know, if you were going to make a call there, Wes, you could have called for an Uber.
There's no excuse to get a DUI nowadays. But I heard.
Yeah, but I mean, the amount he was over, it's like, I mean, here, it's like that.
I heard.
You can drink one beer and be DUI because you'll be over the limit.
What was his?
I heard.
What his limit?
I am not sure exactly what it was, but I heard like the legal limit in that state is like 0.8.
It's, you know what, is really low here.
He was like 0.9, so it wasn't like he was way over. That's why I think he was allowed to travel with the Vikings, because he was like barely over.
And here's another thing too with this state. This is how they make a lot of their money.
Yeah.
I mean, they keep people tied up in court for years.
I don't think it was like he couldn't drive or anything. I think it was like they didn't pull him over because he was swerving or anything like that. I think it was just like they pulled him over. Like I'm not sure exactly why they pulled him over, but it wasn't because he was wakefully in and out of traffic. It looked like he was drunk. But
welcome to Minnesota.
But I don't want to see Dobbs on the field again.
I don't think we will. I think, put it this way, you got what you could out of a trade for a 7th.
Out of a backup. I mean, a backup is supposed to serve just a couple of games until the starter comes back.
Yeah, but he's not even a backup.
In our case,
he's not even a backup. But here's the thing, though. We didn't have a starter. Our starter got hurt, and then Jaron Hall gets hurt, and
so I'm saying like he did his purpose of winning the two games that a backup is supposed to just come in.
Well, then that's where you can come in and blame KOC for staying with him.
Yeah, then that's where you got to blame KOC. That's where you got to blame him.
Because I was saying this whole time.
What other option was there? We didn't have any other option.
At the time, we didn't.
At the time, you didn't. At the time, when what's his name went down,
Mullins.
When Kirk went down, Mullins was on IR.
Yeah.
So the only other option you had was Jaron Hall. Well, then when Jaron Hall takes that shot, then they put in Dobbs. Here's my thing, though. You would think Jaron Hall he's cleared concussion protocol. Put him back in the game.
What I don't understand is Jaron Hall was second string before Mullins even got hurt.
Yeah.
So why is he all of a sudden third string again? You know, he didn't look that bad in his game. Definitely he looked better than what Dobbs did.
And here's another thing, too. When management is saying they want to see what Hall has, but your coach is sticking with Dobbs, and now he's going to go with Mullins, there's a disconnect there.
You got to see what you have you got to see what you have in Hall, just for the future.
Yeah, I think they draft a quarterback next year, but to be honest, I don't know if I want to draft a franchise quarterback with KLC here. No. KLC.
Well, no, do the head coaches and GMs, as far as X's and O's and stuff like that.
Sorry, I'm like running on that American online internet right now.
Yeah. Do they know more than most of us? I would say yes. But coaches have an ego, and they can also be blinded by certain players.
Here's another thing too. Now you take this to heart, Frozen. I tell this to people all the time, especially in the NFL, as far as coaches and even certain players go. It's not your ability. It's not how good you are. It's got more or less to do with who you know.
Yeah.
It's who are you connected to? Because I'll tell you what, Josh McDaniels had no business getting 2, almost 3 head coaching jobs in the NFL. The only reason he got them was because he was connected to Bill Belichick. As a coach, he sucks.
How many coaches would have got another job after doing what he did to, what was it, the Jets?
None. They don't want to. They don't want to hire. I mean, they don't want to hire Brian Flores because he didn't want to tank. We know why, because of Stephen Ross and the way he is. But what's his name lost his job in Houston because he won the final game.
Yeah,
because he didn't tank. The last I checked, I thought you wanted to win.
Well, that goes back when fans say, "Oh, we need to tank." You know, owners may want to tank.
Only ones that
Fans
tank
may
is
want to tank, but the
I'm
coaches
sorry.
and
The
players
only ones that
do
tank
not.
are basketball.
Yeah, by sitting the way the coaches get around that is by quote unquote sit the player for rest.
No, Frozen. I'm just answering your question about that. I'm just answering your question about
No, Frozen. You brought up this. You brought up this right here.
Yeah.
And he was just answering that question. It wasn't like a attack on you personally. No. You're here every week, man. We would never go after you.
No, that wasn't an attack at all.
Yeah. But no, I'm glad he switched. I'm glad he changed out Mullins, changed to Mullins, but I think he did it way too late. They should have came out with Mullins as the quarterback at halftime.
Well, since they won, you can say better late than never.
Right, but the last pass that Dobbs threw.
That should have been your thing. I mean,
hell, Yao Ming couldn't even caught that pass.
You should have changed at halftime if you were going to change.
I say play Mullins the next 2 games and then play Dobbs play Hall the last. Since it seems like we're only succeeding because teams don't have tapes on our quarterbacks and there's only 5 games left and there's still 2 quarterbacks. Might as well have them play a couple games.
Well, here's the thing too. What are the Vikings doing now? Lately, in the last 2 games, they've ran the ball. They're running the ball and they're having success on the ground, and they refuse to do it. Madison's actually looked pretty good. Hey, Dave. Madison has looked pretty good, but
Dobbs got him killed tonight.
Got who killed?
Madison. You know that Madison got hurt on that pass that Dobbs overthrew to him.
Oh, yeah, but you know what? That's going to happen. You remember? Okay, you played football. How many times did your coach tell you to keep your head on a swivel?
Well, all the time. But
okay, guess what these players?
Work.
Guess what these players don't do anymore? They don't pay damn attention because they don't think they're going to get hit. You know what? You're playing football, motherfucker. Get used. You're going to get hit.
And that's why their helmets come off all the time because they don't wear them tight like we used to. How many times did you see a helmet come off? Maybe one.
Daniil Hunter lost his about 3 times today.
No, but I'm saying, but when we played, maybe once a year, someone would lose their helmet, and it was usually because someone had their hand in their face mask.
It took a good shot too.
Yeah,
it took a real good shot.
Now they just fall off.
Yeah, it's still football, guys. No matter how much they soften it up, it's still football.
I don't know. I think like I said, regardless of who the head coach is, if it was Brian Flores, people are still going to be complaining that he didn't do this or he didn't do that because everybody just wants to win. And so it don't matter who the head coach is. People are still going to come ask for their head when the team loses. Like you said, Nick Sirianni, he's probably going to,
he's going to hear it.
Yeah, Andy Reid is hearing it.
I'm watching a hockey game. What's the score of that game?
Huh?
I'm watching a hockey game. Is Dallas killing them or something?
Yeah, Dallas.
Yeah, 27-13. Fourth quarter. But and that's here's a problem now. Coaches don't get the luxury of building a team. They have to win right now as soon as they're hired.
Because even Andy Reid is getting heat.
Yeah.
Because his receivers can't catch.
But here's the problem. This is what happened with KLC came in here and won automatically. Doesn't matter how he won. We won 13 games last year. So guess what? As fans and management, they're going to expect him to keep that up. And it's the way he won games, you can't sustain that. Those games he won last year, he's losing this year. So
Dylan, what we're trying to say is that yes, KOC is going through injuries and stuff like that, but the reason we kill KOC is because why in the hell do you try to use Joshua Dobbs against the Bears like he's Kirk Cousins? Dobbs is not a pocket passer. He's too inaccurate to be a pocket passer.
and here's another.
You have to let him play playground football. KOC doesn't do that.
Here's another thing too, Dylan. Our offense hasn't been great all year. Yeah. Who's our offensive coordinator? And that was supposed to be the best part of our team, but instead, it's the unknown defense.
But my thing is did KOC make Dobbs into a pocket passer, or did the Bears defense?
No, that was he had him sitting in the pot. Well,
because when you look at the game against Denver, they made Dobbs into a pocket passer, and the Bears have film on that.
Here's the thing, though. With the game against Denver, you need to blame KOC for that bullshit call he made on 3rd and 1 with Hawkinson under center, pitching the ball to Dobbs, and Dobbs getting rocked under his under his face mask. Dobbs probably had a mild concussion.
Which should have been a penalty, by the way.
It should have been a penalty.
I think, it's just like me criticizing Dan Campbell, too, but I think, now, had that play worked, nobody would have a problem with it. Everybody would be like, "Oh, what a great play!" But because the play didn't work, then
first of all,
the play sucks.
Okay,
kind of like the whole Dan Campbell thing too, where he always goes for it on 4th and whatever. That when it works, it's like, "Oh, he's great," but when it doesn't work, then he sucks.
But here's the thing, though.
There's a lot of times where you don't question them going for it, like if it's 4-2. You question the call.
And this was
I'm saying, if that play had worked, would we be sitting here questioning or criticizing that play? No.
Yes, I would. Because first of all, you don't have a backup quarterback if Dobbs gets hurt on that play. You don't run trick plays.
You don't have to go
quarter. It was a second drive of the game.
You don't have a backup quarterback if you're running the ball against the Packers instead of trying to throw it when you're up 24-10 with 10 minutes left to go in the game. But
that's my point. It's you guys are so confusing because you're complaining that he's not aggressive enough in one game, and then in the other game, you're complaining because he's running the ball and we have the lead. So it's kind of it sounds like you guys.
What it is, Sarah? It's his inconsistency. He's inconsistent.
Even you guys sound inconsistent. Like I said, the game against Green Bay, you're like, "Oh, why isn't he running the ball? We have the lead." But then the game against the Bears, it's like, "Well, we have the lead, so why did he run 3 times?" I don't know. It just sounds like complaining to me.
He only ran twice, and then he threw the ball.
But that's what I mean. It's okay, well, yes, we're complaining that we have the lead, and why didn't we run? So. Then
and here's another
thing. We were running and it didn't work, and so then you guys are angry that he wasn't aggressive.
We're not angry.
No, we weren't angry.
We weren't angry
because here's the thing, Sarah. I know what you're talking about. She's talking about the Bears when the Vikings had the lead. KOC actually ran the ball. They didn't get the first down. They punted it, and the Bears went down and scored. It wasn't the fact that he was not. We were not we were happy that he ran. It was the running plays he called. You were not able to run up the middle against the Bears the whole game. All the rushing was to the outside. So you run 3 times up the middle and you get nothing, which is what happened. If you would have ran once outside, if it didn't work, then we'd be like, hey, you ran it, you tried it, it didn't work. But that's the thing is you have to run to the outside against the Bears because they're better in the interior than the Vikings are. So, and all the successful runs they had were to the outside. That was my criticism. I'm happy that KOC, it seems like KOC is finally, hey, you know what? I need to run the ball more. He seems to be running the ball more. I'm not going to kill him for that.
He's also running it to the outside. He's running it to the outside. He's not running it up the gut.
Just complaining. And
no, it's not. Well, it's not complaining. It's criticism.
It's criticism.
it's basically if KOC gets, we give KOC credit when credit's due, but like you're okay, you're up 24-10. Your defense is dominating the Packers. They can't do a damn thing. You were able to run the ball, even though you didn't run it that much. You were able to run the ball in that game. You just hand the ball off. There's times to be conservative. There's times to be aggressive. You know, that in my opinion, which is pretty much all it is. I mean, is I think the Vikings should have kept running the ball against the Packers.
You know what? T. Bass said it best. It's situational football, and KOC's not good at it.
Yeah.
Hey, Sarah, I'll bring this up. Okay, Sarah, you remember the Packer game, right?
Hey, Dave, anytime, man. Anytime.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying, like, how I'm hearing it from you guys. It just sounds like it's complaining and whatnot because you're saying one thing and meaning something else. You know what I mean?
Okay.
No, she said what Sarah's saying is that we complain that he's not aggressive, and then when he is aggressive, we complain that he's aggressive. And then when he's conservative, we complain that he's conservative.
Like T. Bass says,
to me, it just sounds like complaining, and it's like I don't know. I mean,
the bottom line is KOC is not good at situational football, and he's still soft. He's not good at it. Even in today's game. I mean,
I get what you guys are saying. I'm just saying that it just sounds like it's just complaining because he's not doing something that you like or want.
It's not just me though.
But no, I'm not saying you. I'm just saying you in general, as you as in anybody who's like.
Dylan, you're gonna have to specify more what you're talking about. Are you talking about when Cousins got hurt against the Packers and Jaron Hall came in?
That was another thing too, because if you remember in the Packer game, the Vikings, I think it got a turnover or they had stopped them on downs. They were in Packer territory before Kirk got hurt. What happened? They had a running play. The running play worked. They had positive yards. They had like 6 or 7 yards. Second down, KOC calls a pass, and they blitz and they sack Kirk. So guess what? Then it's 3rd and long. They're out of field goal range. Well, guess what? The next play is where Kirk drops back, stepped up, and tore his Achilles. Why didn't you keep running the ball? And then you bring Jaron Hall in the game. You're backed up to your own goal line when Jaron Hall comes in. Never taken a snap, never did nothing. You've got him throwing the ball. And then he gets a first down on one pass. Next thing you know, the run doesn't work. You're back to passing again, and it's a strip sack. And that's what I mean. It's like, don't put your young defense in these positions where they have to do this. And luckily the defense, put it this way, if we had last year's defense, we'd be screwed.
No, I mean, I think like that's like one of the biggest reasons why we're not getting blown out like we did last year.
Dylan, actually, I've seen a lot of perfect calls in my years of watching football. Plus, I've been a coach, so
I don't know because I was watching the O-line committee with Boone and whatnot, and he was talking about how a lot of play calling is not the problem; it's the execution of it. And
that's still coaching.
That's still coaching. You kind of wonder. I mean, what were they doing in training camp? What did they do in practice?
Well, they didn't play preseason games.
No, and that's probably an even bigger problem that they didn't play in preseason games.
I've never been one of those about the preseason games to where complaining about when they play a starter and the starter gets hurt. I would never complain. It depends on when the starter got hurt. But in preseason games, I think the starter should play at least one series every game.
I agree.
Just to keep them fresh. You know, it doesn't even matter if it's a 3 and out. But
Oh, is Zoe in here? What's up, Zoe?
yeah, what's up, Zoe? Yeah, hey Zoe, your buddy Nug's not in here tonight.
He's still drinking from that loss.
He's not. I don't think he'll be in that Bears game. My God. Wow.
Yeah, I was like, the Lions defense looks like ass because the Bears were able to put up that.
There you go,
much
Zoe.
points
If you want to
against
jump in
them.
here.
That game was bad. And Goff, how they're Jared Goff's the Achilles heel of that team. I'm just gonna put it out there.
I mean,
Their defense
the
is
Bears
Achilles
was like
heel.
able
Their
to like
defense is bad,
freaking move
too.
up and down on them.
I know I was watching Rap and Justin before us. Rap says that he's afraid of the Lions, that they don't match up well. And I had to go, but I was going to say, why are you afraid of the Lions?
Who's afraid of the Lions?
Rap, he says that the Vikings don't match up well. I said, yeah, they do.
Has he watched the Lions this year?
I know. He says he's afraid of the Lions. He doesn't think they're going to
for
be
God's
there.
sake.
I know. I think that our defense can stop their offense. I just think our offense might not be able to put up points.
Well, here's the thing.
Detroit's
defense is this, and that's where
Yeah.
KOC is going to have to put together a damn game plan because that defense is not very good. But now, Aiden Hutchinson is probably going to be lining up on Quisenberry, which benefits
Well, and I mean,
Hutchinson.
they're pretty much exposed their secondary.
Well, how long is Neil going to be out for? Was it a hypercycle sprain?
Don't know. Yeah, they don't know. I thought it was Achilles.
Dobbs is not going to be playing against the Lions.
Well, I mean, Trevor Lawrence was supposed to be like, everybody thought he had a season-ending injury, and he's out playing today.
He played today. I was shocked.
I was pissed, man. I was like, God damn. I was like about to make a run and get into the playoffs, and I have JJ and Jamar, and they both got shit. I'm like,
And all the people's the Colts defense is trash. The Browning is not going to be able to do against the Vikings defense what he did against the Colts.
didn't the Bengals?
What up, Zoe?
A backup.
Zoe's in the house.
Oh, what's up, Zoe? What's up, Sarah?
What's the deal with y'all? What up,
Playing
TB Sarah?
Browning's the backup in Cincinnati.
What up, Lions fan? Are you sad about your guys' loss to the Bears?
Man, I ain't got no question for that answer.
What up, Eric? Eric, you're finally joining us when we're not getting ready to get off, man. You always join us when we're getting off. Yeah. Browning's a starter now because Burrow's hurt, so Browning's a starter now. And he actually got hurt.
But
today.
I thought he got hurt too, didn't he?
Yeah, but he came back in.
He came back in.
It was leg cramps.
Yeah,
But-
So he
came back in.
didn't get hurt.
Yeah, but I don't. He's not going to be able to do against the Vikings defense what he did against the Colts. And Dobbs is not starting. It's going to be Mullins, and Mullins is the closest to the Cousins that the Vikings have on the roster. So,
Eric, what's the deal?
I think we've seen KOC wants to do his offense. So everybody's talking about getting one of these young running back, one of these young quarterbacks that can run and do whatever like that. I don't think KOC wants a quarterback who does that. I think he wants the classic drop back passer.
Good luck with that.
Good luck with that because that's most of your quarterbacks nowadays.
What the fuck?
But I'm just saying, look how he runs. I mean, Sarah, even though you can say that the Bears turned, you're saying it might be the Bears defense that turned him into a pocket passer. The problem is he didn't let Dobbs run. Everything was in the pocket passing.
Well, here's another thing too. KOC didn't do a scouting because sideline to sideline, that Bears defense is fast.
Yeah.
They are. They've got some guys that can move on that defense. So that's coaching. Trap plays might have worked. I mean, quick hitters up the middle might have worked, but he didn't do any of that.
Well, at least the Bengals don't have a pass rush like the Raiders. They don't have a Max Crosby. So
No.
They ain't got shit on defense.
They don't have
Yeah.
anything on defense.
It just our offense though.
yeah, but they're not going to be able to do what they did against the Vikings defense, what they did against the Colts defense.
They'll get to help from the refs, of course, but
Yeah,
they're not
I'm just
going to.
saying,
No,
though.
they won't because it's a backup. Refs don't care about backups.
I'm just saying the Vikings offense they look like it's dead.
There's no life to that offense. No life at all.
That's what
well,
I'm
here's
saying,
another
like,
thing. This goes back to KOC as well. Why is it that even after a bye week,
right?
the team comes out flat as hell?
Looking like that. You ain't lying.
It all starts at the top, guys.
You can say what you want about Zimmer, but very rarely did that team look flat or look
This
coming out of a
team,
bye week.
these KOC teams look flat every week.
Man, he might not be the guy, man. Everybody can't be a head coach.
And I've already said he's kind of a head coach by default.
Angel, what's going on? What's the deal?
But like you said, you called him Brad Childress. He is Brad Childress 2.0.
Hey, because Brad Childress was what? A quarterback guru, a offensive, a quarterback whisper, never called
Okay,
plays.
so my question is, then do we get a new coach, and when he loses like 5-6 games, are we gonna fire him too? I mean,
No, it
everybody
ain't.
just wants people.
Well, here's
fired
well,
all
here's
the damn
here's
time.
the thing, Sarah. Here's the thing. Remember what got Brad Childress fired?
Yeah, Randy Moss.
Yeah. KOC doesn't have that problem. So if KOC could probably be here and probably put together back-to-back like 7-10, 6-11 records, the fact that he won 13 games keeps him safe. But you're gonna have to if the players aren't buying into what he's saying, which could be a possibility, you got to move on from him.
See, but my whole thing with this though, Sarah, is this KOC second year in Minnesota. We were supposed to see a growth and a change in the offense from last year. The Vikings offense last year led the lead in 3 and outs. The offense last year were darn near horrible for real. And we see the same thing this year. We ain't see no growth in the Vikings offense. Before Kirk Cousins got hurt, we were what, 1-4 or 1-5, 2-4?
No, they were 4-4.
No, they were 4-4.
Oh, 4-4. But I'm saying they won what, 3 in a row, right?
Yeah, 3 in a row.
They was 1-4 at one point in time.
I think but see, that goes back to them not playing any games in the preseason.
That goes back to coaching, though.
Exactly.
That goes back to coaching, though. The offense.
The only side of the ball that got better, literally in that winning span, was the defense.
Yeah. But at what point do y'all blame the head coach?
I blame him now.
No, I'm talking about other people.
Oh, he
No,
gets
I'm just saying, I don't like this instant, like, fire the head coach.
It's not instant though.
It's not
Because
instant.
I want like stability. Because if we keep changing out head coaches in like two years, we're gonna be a dumpster fire.
But Sarah, the Vikings wasn't good last year.
Well,
Vikings-
probably here's
Vikings
the thing, though,
history
Sarah.
shows-
We could possibly be a dumpster fire with a stable head coach.
The Vikings' history has shown that they're not going to be a
We've never been a dumpster
dumpster
fire,
fire.
really.
Yeah. Even
Well,
when they've had bad coaches and bad quarterbacks, they've never been a dumpster fire.
I'm just saying, at the end of the day, the Vikings offense won 13 games by luck. The offense last year
You
was
can't say it
horrible.
was all by luck.
That was
because,
luck.
They were luck.
That
They
was
were luck
luck.
because they had to
No,
come
you're
from
saying
behind.
every
And
single game we won was by luck.
About 9 of them was.
11. You know what, Sarah? 11 games we had to come from behind. We were losing in those 11 games.
Yeah, but if we sucked that bad, we wouldn't even have been able to come from behind.
If they had the offense they had this year, they would not have won 13 games.
No.
We were down.
Also, you want to know? You want to know luck, Sarah? Think about the Buffalo game. If
Josh
Josh
Allen
Allen doesn't fumble at the goal line, we lose. And why do we lose? Because we had the ball 4 straight plays at the 1-yard line and could not punch it in on offense.
But my thing is, though, what is KOC good at?
Media talk.
I'm just saying on the offense side.
Holding hands is in a circle and going kumbaya.
No, I'm just saying, like what is he good at though?
From what I've heard, the players rally around him. I don't know how true that is now. But he has literally shown, and I'm not the only one that's been ripping on him.
And another thing,
There's other people that have been,
I
even
don't.
media.
It's not that we dislike KOC, but as a person, we don't dislike him. You can't be. My thing is, and I don't know, I could be wrong, but I think he wants to be everybody's friend.
And you can't do that.
As a head coach, you cannot. That's what position coaches are for. The head coach cannot be anybody's friend. It's like a manager or like a business owner.
You gotta be. You have to be an asshole at some point.
Yeah.
So hey, sir, can I ask you a question? How many games we see JJ had 10 catches in the first half, then the second half he disappeared?
I mean, we've seen games like that, but because we're not in the locker room, we can't just assume that like it's all one thing or something else. We don't know.
I know that's coaching.
That's coaching.
Like what? Like KLC, he a good guy, but
because I mean, there's been games where Tyreek Hill has like no yards, like in like whatever, or he gets like little yards too. So is that coaching too?
It depends.
Because I feel like we're like giving we're giving like credit to like, oh, like, you know, Mike McDaniels is so awesome and this and that, but he hasn't even beat good teams yet, and we're giving like all these praise to all these.
I haven't put McDaniels on that pedestal.
I like McDaniels.
And everybody's talking about the Cowboys. Well, Mike McCarthy's proven that he'll screw up sometime in the playoffs.
What? Oh,
McCarthy also got a defense.
So I'm not but I mean,
and I'm not saying he's perfect, but I just think that
it's only been
2 years and people want his head already, and it's like,
well,
the one
to be
week
fair,
when we
Sarah,
win, that he's coach of the year. The next week when we lose, then it's like fire him, and it's kind of like, come on, like.
Well,
you're going to get that from a lot of fans.
Yeah, it's an instant reaction society.
It's an instant reaction, like you said.
Yeah.
It's fans have this reaction of, okay, it's not working, move on. But the reality of it is he's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
But
I mean, that's just my point. I'm not saying like fire him, or I'm not saying keep him. I'm just saying that it's like in 1 week when we win, it's like, oh, he's coach of the year. The next week we lose, it's like, fire him. He's bad. He's terrible.
But I will say this though, you're gonna lose Brian Flores.
Yeah.
So you go into next year with another which, put it this way, should Brian Flores leave, distinct possibility, you're going to need a defense coordinator. Well, guess who's already going to get that job? His good friend, Staley.
But why do we assume that he's going to get the job?
Oh, he's going to get the job.
He's not going to remain the Chargers head coach.
No, he's not going to be the Chargers head coach.
That he's not going to be the Chargers head coach, but I don't understand the part that we're
because it goes back to who you know, not what you know.
Yeah, it's him and KC are very good friends.
The Wild has scored almost as points as the Vikings tab today.
What's the score to Wild game?
Can I ask y'all the question?
Okay.
Wild.
Hey, can I ask y'all the question though?
What's up?
Without Brian Flores, how many blowouts would the Vikings have this year? We had 3 last year.
None.
Huh?
None.
No, I said if we ain't have Brian Flores this year.
Mm-hmm.
On defense, he's talking how many times would the Vikings been blown out by the other team if we didn't have Flores?
Oh God.
But a lot, right? About 3 times, 3-4 times.
3-4 times, yeah.
But my point to that,
the Eagles game would have been really ugly if we did not have Flores.
Right. But my point to this though is KOC need Brian Flores more than Brian Flores need KOC.
True.
Let's just be for real.
That's true. That's
like
true.
KOC had yet to show anybody nothing in 2 years. We ain't seen nothing. I ain't seen shit yet.
No, and everybody knows I'm not a Kirk fan. Everybody knows I'm not a Kirk fan. But looking back, I'm starting to realize as much blame as I put on Kirk,
right?
Some of that blame needs to go on KOC. You know, it's right. But with Kirk just he's another laid back dude too. He's not the type to get in anybody's face and be like, "No, we're doing this, blah blah blah." He doesn't do that.
Right. And Kirk makes a lot of the right decisions too when he's playing
Yeah.
quarterback.
I
So it
mean,
doesn't look as bad.
yeah, folks, I'm being nice to Kirk Cousins. You need to like remember this moment, okay?
Write this down. Screen
Is your
record.
girl
this,
still
man.
watching? Did
Yeah.
she record this?
Yeah, this should be recorded. But yeah, when you look back at it now, you're kind of like, this could have been KOC. You know,
Right.
it's in KOC. He's in above his head. He's never called plays.
Don't like he
Never.
know how.
Yeah, he's never called plays, and you can see why he never called plays. Brad Childress never called plays, and what did he do when he got hired? All plays.
Okay, I give y'all this. KOC survived this year, but the Minnesota Vikings was to miss the playoff this year. KOC will be fired next year, the end of the season.
Well, here's the
next year.
thing, though. He has a built-in excuse for missing the playoffs.
Yeah, this year, yeah. I'm saying if he don't, but he will be fired next year, though. And next year, it'll be no damn better.
Yeah, babe, I'm okay. I'm just being honest.
Kirk Cousins
being
getting
honest.
JJ being gone most of the year, so that's a built-in excuse for him not
Right.
to be
But
playing.
I'm saying,
People
though,
are like, your offense look like trash, KOC. Well, you know, I lose my best receiver.
Well, and here's another
thing.
thing too, though. Zoe, you got to keep this in mind. He's going to get a pass because he won 13 games last year.
right. But I said the end of next year's season, he will be fired.
You know what?
But they're not missing the playoffs this year.
I hope they don't.
Not with Mullins at quarterback. I don't think they do.
Man, shit, you got to show me a little bit more.
Because I told you, I said if Dobbs remains the quarterback and Dobbs plays like he did against the Bears, the Vikings are not going to win another game. Well, he played today like he played against the Bears, and they look like ass. We only got to see 2 drives from Mullins. And Mullins did more in those 2 drives than Dobbs did the 3 quarters that he played. Now, was that because the Raiders weren't able to scout Mullins? But we do know Mullins is a version of Brock Purdy. He throws
Mullins came from the Raiders.
Right.
Yeah,
So
you know what? They should know about Mullins.
Yeah, he played at the 49ers. He played good.
Yeah, they should know about Mullins.
So Mullins, to me, Dobbs is a fringe NFL quarterback. 3rd string guy, good around the locker room. Mullins is a legit backup. He can get you 2 or 3 games that you need 2 or 3 games for a backup to play.
And Mullins will probably get the games we need down the stretch.
Yes.
We need
which means probably 2 wins against the Lions.
So that Packers game gonna be a very important game.
It is. It's going to be.
I think Brian Flores confuses love.
Well, you keep on talking about that. I'm talking about that offense going out there.
Well, as long as you have with the way the Vikings defense is played right now, they've proven that they can win 3-0. So
you know what though, that's not a good precedent to set.
Because, no, it's not. But defense travels.
You can't. I mean, it's nice that you can rely on the defense for that, but you've got to help out that defense too. You've got to put some points on the board.
You got at least score about 24, 21.
You got to play some ball control and let that defense relax and not have to put it all on their back. Let Brian Flores call a defensive scheme to where he can freelance and do shit that he would do in a game.
That may happen Saturday.
I hope so. Should we plan against the
You know what? Though? They're playing in Cincinnati in the elements. I don't know.
Well, the defense for Cincinnati is so bad, though.
Yeah, but it's. I wouldn't say. I would be like, you know what? They're playing outdoors. That's the only thing I got. Can they beat Cincinnati? Hell yeah.
No, see, Frozen. I don't think they win today, and if Dobbs is their current quarterback, I don't think they win any more games this year.
No,
so I wouldn't go that far.
No, I don't think so either.
With Jaron Hall, we don't know. For some reason, they're not paying him. But maybe it goes back to the Mike Zimmer with the Kellen Mund. I've seen him play.
It could be. You know what? It could be upstairs. Damn.
Yeah.
33-13 Dallas over Philly.
The game over with?
Nah, 108 left.
Was it 33-13?
Dallas.
I told people the Eagles ain't good this year.
Well, like I said, until McCarthy shows he can do it in the playoffs, and Dallas shows I'm not. I think this is 40. I think the 49ers are gonna be the team out of the NFC.
Yeah, I think so. The Eagles, man, the Eagles need some new coordinators
The
again.
40
They lost
if
one
the
last year.
40 if the Cowboys win today, the 49ers are the first seed, I believe.
Well, here's the funny
Yeah.
thing. You know, those
Yeah.
coordinators they got now are probably going to get head coaching considerations now,
For who? The Eagles?
especially
They-
Sean Desai.
Well, Desai's been there a couple years though.
Yeah,
right?
Desai,
Yeah.
he's going to get one.
Didn't he come from Seattle?
Yeah, he was in Seattle for a minute. Yeah. So he's been but see, he's a defensive guy just like Flores, and a lot of these coaches, a lot of these teams are going offensive coaches.
Well, whatever a team has an offensive coach, they'll go to a defensive coach, and whatever team has an defensive coach, they'll go to an offensive.
They go to
coach.
opposite.
That's usually how it happens. They go to opposite.
What's his name? Could be interviewed again though too. Dan Quinn.
Yeah. But Dan Quinn could be one of those. He's a great defensive coordinator, but not a good head coach.
You know what? He got Atlanta to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Well, Kyle Shanahan became the coach of the 49ers because of that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't talk about that with Trisha.
But I think it was kind of his fault that they lost the Super Bowl.
Yeah, don't.
It was Shanahan's fault. You're up 28-3, and all you do is throw. Come on, man.
That's a sort
but
of with my girl.
People forget that and praise him so much. He's this super great coordinator. When it's people forget that he coordinated that debacle.
Yep.
Someone said that Tom Brady on the sideline said, if they keep throwing the ball, we're going to win the game.
Yep.
And that's what happened.
Yep. Okay. Cowboys 33, Philadelphia 13.
Well, the Cowboys finally beat a good team.
They beat the brakes off them boys.
So they broke down the.
So both teams are now 10-3.
Yep.
Yeah.
See, I told you guys. I said the Cowboys might come in and take that division title from the Eagles.
Here's what the Vikings can still win the division. They are 2 games behind the Lions, right?
Yeah.
So the Lions' schedule is much tougher than Minnesota.
Who are they playing next week?
The Broncos.
They're playing the Broncos. Then they play us. Then they play Dallas, and then they play us again.
And Broncos playing it for
and we season. Have the Bengals, the Packers, the Lions.
The Lions.
Yeah. So no. It's the
Bengals, Lions, Packers, Lions, right?
Lions. Yeah. So
we gotta win. We gotta win out.
So
we gotta win out.
We gotta win out.
Yep.
But we may not have to, because if we end up tied with this, I think the Vikings have.
If we win out and end up tied with the Lions,
I think the Vikings have the tiebreaker because they have a better.
We're also assuming though that the Lions beat the Cowboys in Dallas.
I think they lose. I think they lose to the Cowboys and Broncos.
If the Cowboys play against the Lions like they did tonight, the Lions ain't not.
Oh no, the Cowboys
are not beating that team.
Cowboys gonna beat that ass.
Yeah, man. I'm about to get out of here.
The Broncos
next weekend.
And the Broncos.
Right,
the Broncos look good today.
Yeah. Yeah, they did. Yes, they did.
I hate to say it because I hate the quarterback and I hate their head coach, but
I can't stand Peyton.
They're looking good right now.
How bad are the Chargers?
And the Vikings lost to the Chargers too.
I can't tell if they're bad or if it's their coaching that's making them bad.
It's coaching that's making them bad.
It's coaching, and that defense is not very good.
But that's aren't they the highest paid defense?
Yeah. Yeah, Bosa.
They got Khalil Mack. They got Bosa.
Yeah.
They got Kendricks.
They got Kendricks. Don't they got Derwin James?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, they've got some high-priced players on that side of the ball.
So you have that many good players on your. Can you imagine what Brian Flores would do with that defense with the talent they have?
I know. Okay, has anybody looked into this rumor that Michigan is going to give Harbaugh more money?
I heard that.
I heard that too.
Because he's pretty much gone to the NFL.
Yeah.
The only way to keep him is to give him more money.
You know what? If that's the case, he's going to be rich every offseason. He's just because he's going to keep getting these job offers from the NFL. And if Michigan's going to keep paying him, it's a pretty good gig if he can get it.
Maybe he goes back to Michigan for one more year. KOC has a terrible season next season, gets fired, and they get the guy they really wanted.
You know what? He'll tell the Vikings to F off. He will. He'll tell the Wilfs. He'll tell the Wilfs to F off because of what happened with.
Yeah, I know. I was just saying.
Yeah, it would be. I mean, and they're not the Wilfs aren't the type to go back and.
Mama's still up.
Right their wrongs. Oh yeah, she's still up. So
1-30 for her. She's on the East Coast.
But I mean, it's
my dog keeps begging me for pizza, so I've been feeding her pizza.
Yeah, we can hear her whining.
We heard her. But I mean, I mean, as they say, a win is a win. No matter how ugly it is, it's still a win. But I mean, we can't win like this.
If they would have lost tonight, the season would have been over.
They tried. It's not like they didn't try to lose.
So, I see they play the Bengals. It's hard to say what Cincinnati team is going to show up. Their defense is not good, but the Vikings' offense isn't good. I don't think Browning is going to be able to do what he did to the Vikings, what he did to the Colts. I'm not saying the Vikings are going to completely shut them down. Like
it could be another. But you know what? It could be another low-scoring game on Saturday.
Yeah, because I mean, like, just look at the way that the defense played tonight against O'Connell. Like, they didn't really blitz him.
No, they let him. They put pressure on him with a 3-man rush. You know, I mean.
And they were confusing him with all the looks they were giving him, thinking that they're going to blitz. And I think he was like, prepare for that when they did.
Well, that interception he threw at the end of the game was bad.
Oh, the one he threw the pace?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think they're afraid of. I don't think they were afraid of O'Connell.
Like, no.
You know, so are they afraid of Browning?
No.
We all know who Browning is. He was here for Minnesota. We know his arm is weak.
So you know what?
Backups are backups for a reason.
Yeah.
He's not going to be able to read Flores' disguises.
And here's the thing: it's going to be cold. You know what? Go back to old school football. Pound the rock. Depending on what the weather is, you're going to have to.
And they showed today that, like I said, KOC is actually showing that he actually wants to run the ball more.
Well, I mean, CJ Ham probably has more yards than.
I was shocked that Ham was getting the ball late in the game, and Ham was getting positive yardage.
Does he have more yards than Jacobs?
Who? Madison did.
Josh Jacobs, yeah.
Yeah, Madison. Madison had like 60 yards.
Madison had a good game today.
Huh?
Madison had a good game today.
He did.
Especially that one run when he carried guys.
He is a good back. He's got that power but it takes him a while to hit the hole. That's the problem. Or he'll miss the hole.
I think he's also one of those running backs that gets better the more carries he gets.
Yeah, but like I don't know, he fumbled too much that it just gives me a heart attack every time he touches the ball.
Well, Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, that's that Dalvin Cook anxiety that we live through.
Like AP, I knew he was gonna fumble eventually, but like, I don't give a who.
Well, the Wild and the Vikings have scored the same amount of points today.
3?
It's 3-0.
Oh, for God's sakes! Oh my God, 3! Yay!
Hockey 3-0's a killing though. That's an ass whipping.
Yeah, that's an ass.
What I want to know is how the hell did the Jets manage to put up that much points?
They put up 30 points.
I know. I was like, are you kidding me?
It was 0-0 at halftime. Stroud got hurt in that game.
Yeah, Stroud went out and he's in concussion protocol.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like Zach Wilson threw for that many touchdowns.
Yeah.
Well, the Texans
I saw one of them, and it was really poor tackling on the part of the
Texans have been playing above their head this year. So maybe they're falling down to earth. Maybe people figured them out.
Is this that the Jets put up that much points? Like
I thought maybe Rodgers came in after halftime for the Jets.
Well, here's my question now: is Jacksonville the real deal, or are they a mirage too? Defensively, I think they're a mirage.
Well, you know who has the number 1 seed in the AFC right now?
The Dolphins.
Dolphins. Yep.
The team that can't be a team with a winning record.
Good teams.
Well, they beat a winning team last week, right?
No, it was the Commanders they beat last
Yeah.
week.
Oh Jesus.
And they're playing. Who are they playing tomorrow?
Tennessee.
Tennessee, another team that does not have a winning record.
Yeah, Tennessee's 4-8. With I
Right.
think Will Levis is going to play quarterback.
And they weren't. They didn't win the division last year, so they didn't have
So
a hard schedule.
I don't know. So
The team that looks human now. The team that looks human now is Kansas City.
Yeah.
well,
They look human.
that goes back to everybody thinks a quarterback solves your problems. Obviously, the Chiefs are showing you need more than just the best player in the league to win.
Well, here's a question too. Why didn't the Chiefs go out there and get some damn wide receivers that can hang on to the ball?
I don't know why they signed Valdez Scantling. He couldn't catch when he played for the Packers.
I don't know. I heard that receivers grew on trees, so they picked one
They
from.
kind of do, but still.
Well, no, not JJ level receivers, but the reason I said I don't want the Vikings to trade JJ is because I don't think they're going to get back what his value is. But why they knew Adam Thielen was being traded. Adam Thielen would be perfect for the Chiefs.
He probably wanted too much money though.
But the Chiefs wish they had him right now.
Yeah.
I mean, look at what
the Chiefs wish they had anybody right now.
I mean, they're paying right now for Tony and Scantling, and that they've got money.
Juju, they got rid of him. He was the best receiver last year.
Where's Juju now? New England?
I believe so. Yeah.
He's hurt.
Oh, hey, you got a ring.
I don't think they're gonna go far this year though.
Their defense is good, but I don't think their defense is good enough to carry them.
Yeah, but
I'll tell you what, there was something going on the sideline in that game with Kansas City.
Mahomes and
Mahomes is going to get fined again.
Mahomes went off, and I'll tell you what, Chris Jones got into it with I think the D-line coach or somebody on the defense.
Not only during the game, but the post game, Mahomes ripped the refs a new one.
As he should.
So I wonder how big his fine is going to be. I don't understand.
Yeah, but I don't feel. I mean, it's like, dude, you get so many calls. Like, come on now.
Well, here's the thing: your wide receiver needs to know where to line up.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to know where to line up.
And I guess I hold a grudge against the Chiefs because when Snead was all over Addison, Chiefs fans were just like, "That's not PI."
Oh, he got away with
they
it.
were crying last week about that non-call, from the Packers. I was like, I know what you're talking about. That's not PI.
I'm actually going to say this, and I think the officiating for the Vikings this year has actually not been that bad compared to years past.
Yeah,
when was the last time?
Like,
when was the last time that we complained?
You didn't get calls against you. That's just
how it
is. When was the last time? The Chiefs game was probably the last time we complained about calls.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah.
So that was what, week 5?
But the Chiefs game was blatant because not only did Snead interfere with him, he took his helmet off and got away with it.
Right, and then remember last week the Bears defense guy took his helmet off, boom, 15 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, maybe the only questionable call since then was the Daniel Hunter hands to the face when he was the one who's got his helmet taken off. That's probably the only one.
Yeah.
Of course, they miss. They're going to miss calls. They're not perfect people. So, but maybe I guess. Well, I guess you could say. Ruffin, they could have called the penalty today on that hit on Naylor. They should have called the one on Dobbs in the Broncos game.
They've let what's funny? They have, in a lot of the Viking games, they've let those go.
Yeah, because we're not a big market. They don't need to protect our quarterback.
No.
Well, see, here's the thing, though. Cousins never gets the calls that there's quarterbacks who are not as good as Cousins, but because of the team they play on, when they get hit in the face, when like a defender's trying to knock down the ball and they get hit in the face, they call it. They never call Cousins get hit in the face, ever.
I mean, even when it's blatant, they don't.
No, the refs turn a blind eye. It's amazing what they see and what they don't see.
Yeah.
It's like selective vision.
Hey, no worry, Davey, man. You're always welcome, brother.
Yeah,
But
that's
like
why.
this-
I mean, it's just hard for me to feel sympathetic to Chiefs fans when they're crying
I'm
about
not sympathetic to Chiefs fans.
non-calls. Like, come on now.
But you know what? Like T-Bass says, let them play. It's football. They've watered down the sport so much to where any certain, like, you sacked a quarterback, you're worried now if you're going to get a roughing the passer call.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I felt like that's kind of like probably why, like, that game against the Bills and Eagles, that guy just let Jalen Hurts kind of walk in,
Yeah.
because you can't really touch the quarterback.
And you're right, Davey. Large market teams do get the breaks.
Yep. Always
They
have.
do. Always have. That'll never change unless you're the Jets or the Giants.
Well, that's because they're not in New York; they're in New Jersey.
You know what? That's right. They're New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
I don't know. They need to do something about their field there. People keep getting season-ending injuries there.
Remember the Jets were supposed to move to
Same thing at Lambeau. Something's wrong with Lambeau's field that you've had players dropping like flies.
Yeah, remember the Jets were supposed to build that stadium in downtown New York, but they didn't let them.
Why didn't they let them?
I don't know. Who knows? It's New York.
I don't know. I would not with that traffic. I would not want a stadium in downtown New York.
Well, at least it'd be a New York team.
I think if any team moves in New York, like Long Island part of New York, Manhattan, Brooklyn, it'll be the Jets.
Like,
where's the
Buffalo
money? Where's
should
the
be
money?
Only New York team because they play in Buffalo.
Brooklyn is where all the money's at now. That's why the
Nets are there.
The Islanders are there. The Nets are there. Yeah.
Where do the Mets play?
Mets. They used to play in See, New York. The Yankees are in the Bronx.
Yeah.
The Mets. Oh gosh.
Were they in Flushing?
Yeah, I'm not. I am not. They play, yeah, Davies. They play in City Field, but what city is City Field in? Like what borough is it in? Well, Flushing, New York. That's where the U.S. Open's at, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, City Field. Oh gosh, I know what it is. I just can't think of it.
Queens.
Yeah, Queens. Yeah. So, but yeah.
Well, one of those boroughs could has enough space for an NFL stadium, doesn't it?
Well, there's got to be an abandoned like a whole warehouse district somewhere in that city to where they can build a stadium.
Well, Flushing is Queens. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
I've never been to New York City, so I don't know.
The Bears are building their stadium in Arlington, which I don't know how far outside.
Indoors.
Another team that might be leaving is the White Sox because it's not safe to go to those games anymore.
Where the White Sox play?
They play on the south side of Chicago.
Mm.
They're still downtown. They're in the same spot the original Kaminsky Park was in.
Oh,
and
okay.
They had a game last year where fans in the stands got shot from the streets outside. Yeah.
Wow.
So
I don't know. I like it when there's sporting events here because I actually feel safe when I'm walking through downtown.
Yeah, I could. I mean, from where I live, I can walk to US Bank Stadium. I'm not that far from.
Yeah, I feel safe in my downtown too, where I'm at, San Antonio.
I'm not that far from all the stuff. When I go to wrestling matches at Target Center, I'm not that far, so it's it's convenient for me.
I don't know. Minneapolis is has gotten bad, but I don't know when they have.
Well, that's because they don't prosecute anybody who should be prosecuted.
Oh, it's I noticed it too. It's like they've like not far from where I live, there used to be a homeless encampment. It was bad.
Yeah.
And now they just moved them to another part over here that is just as worse. And I'm like,
But they're
okay,
not as visible.
they're not visible at all. They're at a site where an old store used to be that they're going to tear down and run the street through. So they're going to have to move eventually. But you know where I'm talking about, Sarah.
My there are homeless people here in San Antonio,
Mhm.
but there's no tent cities. They get as soon as they put a tent city up, the city of San Antonio comes through and just tears them down.
Frozen. I'm right near downtown, near the convention center. Over by a place called Stevens Square Park.
Oh, okay. I kind of have an idea where that is.
You know where Franklin is, right?
Yep.
Okay, I'm right by Franklin and Nicollet. Put it that way.
I am literally 15 minutes from the Riverwalk in
Okay.
San Antonio.
Yeah. See, I'm not that far from downtown. I can walk downtown. So.
And no, I don't go to the Riverwalk. That is a tourist area.
I mean, I could walk to the concerts if they had them here. Now they're having all the bands I like to see in St. Paul.
Wouldn't it be trippy if the Timberwolves won a championship before the Vikings did? I mean, they're looking.
You know what? I haven't watched them yet, and I'm like, should I start watching them? Everybody's telling me no because I'll jinx them. But I'm hearing good things about this team. You know, for the first time, it's like people are excited for basketball up here.
Yeah.
But the issue is NBA is different from any other sport because the NBA, one player can just dominate and ruin everything.
I just think they play too many damn games that it loses people's interest.
Yeah.
Well, that's what makes the NFL season is that it's so short, you know.
And
right.
Here in Minnesota, like in the Twin Cities, it's still the Vikings town. This is a football town. Because the Wolves were so bad, now they're good. People are taking notice, but it's kind of like, well, let's see how far they go. That type of thing.
I think the Timberwolves are probably fourth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're kind of in the bottom of the barrel.
Because it's wild, and then I think it's the Vikings by far.
It's the Vikings, and actually Minnesota it's a hockey state.
Right. So the Wild and the Twins are probably close to each other.
And the Twins
and then the Timberwolves
for those World Series.
And not only that, I think
exactly
the Timberwolves might when it comes to basketball, the Timberwolves they may I don't know. I don't think anybody watches women's basketball, but they might get more people watching the Lynx games than the Timberwolves games.
When the Lynx had their
championships.
Yeah.
When the Lynx had their championship run, then they were the hottest ticket in town.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Lynx were
and now they have a soccer team, and these young kids like soccer more than the other four sports.
Oh, they built I used to live in St. Paul where they built the stadium.
Yeah.
Right? And they basically took out
that whole Midway shopping area.
The whole Midway shopping area for that stadium, which is nice. It is a nice stadium.
The place I used to go bowl all the time on Monday nights.
You bowled in Midway Lanes?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was my hangout.
You guys probably have seen each other and didn't even realize it.
Probably. But this was when I was like young though.
So was I.
Yeah, so I was really sad to see Midway go.
Where did you go to high school, Sarah?
Central.
You went to Central?
Yeah.
What year did you graduate?
97.
Oh, I graduated in 85.
97.
From
95?
Central. Yeah, 85 from Central.
Oh, okay.
Yep, I went to Central.
I'm 93. But yeah.
God, you guys make me feel old.
Davey, they own the Orlando team.
Yeah, they put a lot of money into that Orlando team.
Here's the funny thing. They wanted to bring a soccer team to Minnesota, but what the MLS said, no. Until you build an outdoor stadium, you cannot have a soccer team. Well, a year later, Atlanta gets a franchise, and where do they play? Same stadium the Falcons play in.
Yep.
Yeah. that soccer stadium they built is pretty nice. I've been to 2
I
games.
think that stadium can also be made into a softball stadium. Okay, not softball, but football.
I'm just like upset that they like tore down those shops because
Yeah.
Frozen. No, I think the Wild are definitely more popular than the Timberwolves in Minnesota.
Yeah, they are.
yeah, but I think the Gophers are more popular than the Wild though.
Always have. The Gophers always have been.
Yeah.
University of Minnesota hockey.
Yeah. Well, I guarantee the second most popular team in Minnesota after the Vikings is the Gophers football team.
Used to be.
The
Used
hockey
to
team.
be. The hockey team, not even the Gopher football team, not
They
with
need to get
not
rid
in
of
recent
PJ
years.
Fleck.
You know what? It's kind of went downhill for a few years with all the scandals and stuff they've had. It's kind of you don't want to get too much behind them because then something's going to happen where they, you know, hit rock bottom or some kind of scandal pops up, which
How
we're
do
still
you
paying
feel
for the
about
last scandal.
for Portal where kids are just going
I
in and
think
out?
the only city that, going back to this, the only city that proved that football was never first is St. Louis. The Cardinals will always be king in St. Louis.
Well, you know what? The Cardinals, the football team came from Chicago. It was just a coincidence that when they moved, you already had a baseball team named the Cardinals.
Yeah.
You know, but the Bidwells, I think they wanted a stadium too in St. Louis, and St. Louis said no.
Yeah.
And that's why they moved to Arizona. Once again, the money was in Arizona. But yet, as soon as, you know, what's her name made noise, Georgia Frontier with the Rams, they built her a stadium. They built her the Georgia Dome, the TWA Dome.
Edward Jones Dome, I think was what it was called at the time.
Was
But
it TWA or Edward? I think it was TWA at first, wasn't it?
Was it TWA?
Yeah. I think.
Yeah, I mean, because all the teams here, they all have new stadiums except the Timberwolves.
Yeah.
Well, they remodeled the inside, so
they've remodeled it a bunch of times, but they are not going to. The arena's fine. Nothing wrong with it.
And you know how hard it is to get money for a stadium in Minnesota? Look at how hard the Vikings had to fight for damn money.
You know, and here's the funny thing about that: the Vikings weren't going nowhere. They were, you know, what the biggest haggle was where they're going to put it, and they decided to put it right where the.
Well, what was it, Arden? What was it? Arden Hills.
Arden Hills, but it was right where an ammunition factory was. That's been shut down for years, but I think that's still federal land.
Yep.
And it needs to be cleaned. It's got to be decontaminated and all that other crap. Plus, there's only one road getting to it, I think.
Yep.
Is that right? Yeah, there's only one road to get to it.
And you would have to clear space to make parking.
Yeah. And then they talked about Blaine, but nobody wants to be in Blaine.
Yeah, that's too far of a drive.
Blaine's like the meth was at one time like the meth capital of the Twin Cities.
Is it?
Meth was bad out in Blaine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean the only place to put the stadium was right back in, you know, downtown Minneapolis. So
yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I've never lived in Minnesota, so I've only been there a couple times. So, but I just know from the outside looking in, just by looking, that the Twins are the most. The Twins have championships, which is something nobody else can say when it comes to professional. The big
yeah, the only ones that can say it actually are the Lynx.
right.
Yeah.
90% of people don't care about the WNBA.
No.
Right.
So, you
Right.
know,
I
the
don't.
only time they care about the WNBA is when your team is dominant and you win like 4 championships in 5 years. You want to be part of this championship feels good, even though you don't really care about the sport. Because as soon as the Lynx started being just a regular team, nobody goes to the games anymore.
No, it's also like the women could get a championship, the men couldn't.
Yeah.
You know.
No, Dave, we're talking about the current teams they have.
It's just depressing.
Because the Minnesota A lot of people don't know this, but the Minnesota Golden Gophers have more championships than Michigan in football.
Like
And
when
Michigan's supposed to be this powerful college team. Well,
They are recently, but back in the
Yeah.
day, they weren't. It was Minnesota.
yeah, Minnesota's got more championships than Wisconsin. They got more. There's a like Minnesota's like what? They're like 8 like all
They're
time
right up
championships.
there all time.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
so-
like these records that we have because it's like, oh, we're up there, we're so great, but we don't have shit.
We don't. We don't. I mean, I seen them lose Super Bowls. I seen them lose Stanley Cup championships.
Yep.
And the Twins actually have 3 championships, but they don't claim the one that they won in Washington.
When they were the
Senators.
Senators, yeah. They won the 29 World Series, but they don't claim it.
Yep.
So officially, the Twins are 2-1 in World Series.
Yeah. So I mean, it's like when they got it, and then when they got here, they lost the World Series in '65 to the Dodgers,
Mhm.
4-3. So I was working at the Dome in '87 when they won it. They won it on my 21st birthday, so that always holds what you call it for me.
And we'll see you tomorrow night.
Yep. And then
I
'91.
bet that was, oh my God, I can't imagine being in that building when Kirby Puckett hit that home run. I bet it was so damn electric. Oh my gosh.
You know what? It's one of those it's one of those classic Minnesota sports moments. That's probably that right there is probably bigger than the Minneapolis Miracle.
Oh,
Well,
definitely.
because it was the championship series. That's why.
It was bigger. It was bigger than the
I
Minneapolis.
want that feeling. I want that feeling so bad for the Vikings. I want to stay home and say, oh, the Vikings are having a parade down Nicollet because the Super Bowl party. I'm calling off work that day.
See, that's why I think football is the hardest sport because, like in basketball and in baseball, you have 7 games to win a damn championship.
Yeah, football, you got to win it that day.
Yeah.
You got to win it that day. And unfortunately, the Vikings on those 4 days were not the team.
Well, if you think about the 4 major sports, NBA, NHL, MLB, and NFL, the less parity in all those sports is basketball, the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's because one player can dominate.
Yep.
So the NFL is probably the second after that. And then
Well, you know what? The NFL, even with the advent of free agency, correct me if I'm wrong. Has anybody put together a super team? Maybe the Niners did.
the Eagles did, but they didn't win anything.
Oh, with Curse and T.O. and
The Nasi and the wall, the corner.
okay.
Yeah.
And then you know what? The Niners did too and won a Super Bowl. The Niners put together a super team.
That was the 97
94
season, right? 94. The 75th anniversary season. That's right.
I don't know.
That's when
I think super teams don't really work because there's too much egos involved.
Well, plus the salary cap really
Plus,
prevents it too.
salary cap.
But
Which
like the
sport is it that doesn't have a salary cap?
baseball.
Baseball.
Good
But
God.
they have a luxury tax.
Mm-hmm. Now, how is this going to work? Otani's going to make $700 million for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't he coming off of Tommy John surgery?
Yeah, but he's the best player in baseball.
But he's
By
coming off
far.
of Tommy John surgery.
Right. Well, he pitches, but he's also a DH. He's able to DH.
Oh, and National League's got DH now.
Yep.
They've ruined
And
baseball.
a Yankee fan brought up is Shohei Ohtani worth Garrett Cole and Aaron Judge? I'm like, yes, because he's both those players in one.
Is he a hitter or a pitcher?
Both. And he's top 5 in both of them.
He's both.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
He's been when the days he doesn't pitch, he DHs.
Yep.
That was when he was with the Angels. Now
Right.
now that the DH is also in the National League, he'll still do it.
And this is why baseball is such a weird sport. The Angels have had the 2 best players in Major League Baseball the last 8 years, 6 years, and they have not made the playoffs.
Oh, Trent, my girl just put up here. He can't pitch until 2025, coming off that Tommy John.
Right. but he's still one of the best hitters.
But he's still going to swing a bat.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
So does he play as a pitcher?
He's a
Or
pitcher.
does
Yeah.
he play as a hitter?
He's a DH, and since the National League has a DH rule, he'll be a designated hitter.
Oh, okay.
So he'll be a DH, and he'll pitch on certain days. But it sounds like he's not going to be in a pitching rotation until 2025. So he could probably, he'll just be a DH. I remember that. The Homer Hankies.
Now, isn't there a rule that they can't be white anymore?
The
Like
Homer
they
Hankies?
have to be red now.
The Homer Hankies?
Yeah.
I've
I
never
didn't-
seen a red Homer Hanky.
No, I've never heard that rule.
I thought the new ones were red because they can't be white anymore.
But then again, I don't go to Twins games.
No.
like the
the
batter's
Twins-
eye or something like that.
And the Twins in postseason are usually one and done anyway.
And they've lost two of their two of their top four pitchers already.
Yeah. Yeah, they've already
Yeah, they
lost two.
haven't done
So
anything.
I don't know what they're probably going to be back to middle of the pack and 500 or lower.
Well, they play in the worst division of baseball, so they're probably still going to make the playoffs. So
So it'll be like nothing changed.
Yeah. Well, here's
the 2 years the Twins won the World Series.
they're in the West.
They barely made they had 87 wins. What was that? 91. They had 87 wins.
87 they had
87. I think they had like 90 wins, and 91. I
no,
think
90 in 91 they had 90 wins. 87 they had like 83 and 77 or some crap like that.
They were both against the Braves, right?
no.
No,
Cardinals.
one was against the Braves in 91 and we beat the Cardinals in 87.
Oh.
Yeah.
They both went to 7 though.
They both went to 7 games and luckily the
Well,
Twins
actually, all four of them went to 7 games.
Yep.
1929, 65, 87, 91. They all went to 7 games.
And
It can never be easy in Minnesota to win anything.
and the 91 series was the that was probably there was one game that was a blowout, but most of the games were close or winning in extra innings.
Is your girl a Braves fan?
Yes, she is. She's a Braves fan.
What do you guys think? Like I've been hearing like all these sports.
Such a
people
shame that
talk
Ron
about
Gant
how
fell off
Tyreek
first
is
base
better
like
than
that.
Randy Moss.
What'd you say, Sarah?
I said I've been hearing all this sports talk about how Tyreek Hill is better than Randy Moss.
No, he's not even close.
No.
He's not even close.
Tyreek
Yeah, I
Hill
was
is just
like-
fast.
Yeah, I mean that's all he was because I mean, I don't know, like
Randy Moss changed the game. Randy Moss changed how defenses played the pass. Randy Moss made you have to beat him. And if you didn't, he was going to embarrass you. Tyreek Hill's just got speed. He can take
Frozen,
off.
that was eventually going to happen. No one wants to see a pitcher hit. I'm sorry.
I'm old school. I mean, I like the fact that the leagues were original. Like you had one league that the pitcher didn't hit, and you had the other one where the pitcher did.
It gave the Players Association, the Major League Baseball Player Association is the strongest player association of all the 4 sports.
Stronger than
So-
football?
Yeah, the MMA and Major League Baseball PA is very strong. So pitchers can't rake.
so what happens when team in the AL plays a team in the NL then? Do they hit or not?
Well, before when they were
Before they
playing in the
used
World
to.
Series, when the
Right.
American League team would go to the National League, the pitcher had to hit for the
Pitcher had
American
to
League.
pitch. But now everybody's got the DH.
Right.
So
And it was such a disadvantage for the American League team because those pitchers didn't hit all year, and all of a sudden you're making them hit.
yeah.
That's
Like in the
main
World
reason.
Series.
That's
I mean, it was
the
like
main,
that in the World Series. I mean, you know.
that's the main reason why they changed it. So,
It's trippy that the best baseball player is a Japanese guy.
oh, they love baseball in Japan.
Oh, they love baseball in Japan. That's
I know,
just-
but it's just trippy to see like that. Like,
well, yeah, and he comes over here and takes over the game.
yeah,
Yeah.
Well, like I said, the second best player was on the same team, and that's Mike Trout.
Where's
But
Trout now?
he's still in there. He's still with the
Oh, he's still over there?
Angels, and he's never made the playoffs.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just sad.
Yeah, my girl's first love is baseball.
Oh no, I can't stand baseball. I don't like baseball until the 7th inning when it's about to end.
Well, they changed the rules, Sarah, to where the game is actually now like 2 hours and 15 minutes.
If you watch the game now, you blink, it's over. It used to be able to be like, okay, I'll walk away, and they'll still be playing like an hour later. Now
Right.
that game's over. It's
You're
over.
right. Like, I can take a long shit and come back and it's still bottom of the like 6th.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
It would now be the bottom of the 9th.
My brother-in-law has some stories about wrestling in Japan, Davey.
Oh, I've heard some stories about wrestling over there. It's on another level, put it that way. It's on another level.
So, what do you guys think? The Vikings have what, 4 games left? 5 games left?
5.
Well, the Bengals, Lions twice, Packers.
4.
So they have 4 games left.
Yep.
They are 7-6.
You win out, you're 11-6. And you still got a shot at the division.
Yeah, the way the Lions defense is playing, I don't trust them.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So the Lions have to play us,
So, chat.
and then the Cowboys, and then us again.
Those
That's
of
a
you
hell of
in
a
the
road
chat,
schedule.
Where do you think the Vikings win the division? The people who are still with us.
It's
'Cause I'm
hard
curious.
to say because of the quarterback situation.
I think it's Mullins the rest of the way.
I think Mullins starts on Saturday. I think he does. I think he gets the ball upfield.
Yeah, but the way quarterbacks are dropping like flies, who knows how long he'll last.
Well, you know what, though? Here's the thing. You know what Dobbs can do? Just bypass Dobbs and put Hall in there. You know what the 3 of them can do. So if it comes down to it, if Dobbs coming off the bench may
Might
not
be
be
a
such a bad
benefit.
thing. Yeah.
I think the
Might
only
not
way
be
we
such
see
a bad
Dobbs
thing coming off the
is
bench.
I think the only way we see Dobbs again is if Hall and Mullins get hurt.
Well, you know what they've got to do now? You're going to have to move Hall up to second string, which means KOC is going to have to trust him to move him to second string.
But he did before.
He did before when he had no other option when Mullins was.
Well, no,
out.
he was
got
back
no
up
other
before
option
Mullins got
then.
hurt, though.
Yeah, Mullins now is healthy.
Yeah. Because, I mean, I don't trust Dobbs. I mean,
I've seen enough of Dobbs to be like, time to move on.
right. Like, I mean, he had a nice Cinderella story for 2 weeks, but that's all it is. It's a
he got us 2 important wins.
Right.
And then he came back down to earth the last 2-3 games. Yeah, 3 games.
And I mean, to give him credit, he did. I mean, he did keep us alive to be contending.
Yeah.
And that's all you can really ask for.
Right.
From a backup.
Well, he's a typical backup quarterback. You expect your backup quarterback to go 500.
You know, put it this way: if Goff goes down with the Lions, they got Teddy.
Yeah, but I mean, Teddy didn't look that great last year with Miami either.
Yeah, he threw for 300 yards on us, though.
Everybody did. Mike White did.
You know,
I don't know. We'll find out Monday. I don't know.
Well, and here's the thing too. I think tomorrow I'm going to have to really pay attention to the presser. I think this local media is going to have to hold KOC to task on some things, and they're still not.
Well, Tomlinson's the only one who ever did that. He's gone.
They're still not doing that.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like he's getting a pass even to this day, even now, and the team's not playing well. They're kind of giving him softball questions.
Are they afraid to lose access?
Yes.
For being too tough?
Yes. Because they are. If you show any type of negativity towards a team, like what happened to Judd Zolgader, they threatened to take Judd's credentials. because I guess he leaked the Hawkinson story about the hold in that he was going. They said it was an ear and all that. It was a hold in. He leaked, and they were going to take his credentials. They've taken credentials from other people that aren't on the purple positivity train. Put it like that, which means I'll never get credentials. Yeah, I'll never get it, but whatever. Life goes on. I haven't had them for how many years? I don't need them now.
That's
But
weird.
yeah, it's there are the coaches up here that are so protected, and they're both the football coaches, KLC and Fleck, PJ Fleck.
Who's gonna win the South? It seems like nobody wants to.
As of right now, the Buccaneers have 80% chance to win the South.
Yeah, I watched that game today too.
They hold the tiebreaker over everybody.
And you know what's funny? Atlanta lost today's game to the Buccaneers like they lost to us. Same way. Same exact way. But yeah, it's that the South is just, I call that the expansion division because they're all the modern day expansion teams.
Yeah, Frozen, I get that, but you can't be childish and ban somebody just because they're not 100% positive all the time.
You have to, if you're going to be, there is such a thing as being objective. You can take your local team to task. You can ask the tough questions without threat of not getting your credentials taken away or not getting anybody to tell you anything or not getting exclusives or anything like that. That's just the press. You have to do that. A team can choose to not tell you anything or whatever. That's their right. But then, I mean, if you're just putting it out there, it's all positive and duckies and rainbows and what have you, duckies and bunnies, like we hear at one radio station. That's not cool, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. You got to be able to take criticism. You got to be able to take, you can't go through your whole life not taking criticism. Then you never learn anything. You get upset over the little easiest, little tiniest things. But
yeah, and that's the thing. And so we'll see what happens. But yeah, I would like to see the press take him to task. I like to see the press take this front office and ownership to task. They really would, but they won't. National media will, but what'll happen is when the national media does it, then the local media start to like circle the wagons, as they call it.
I don't know. I don't like the national media because it's.
Well, they do treat Minnesota as flyover.
Oh yeah.
They always have.
They
always have. That's nothing new. It's been that way for years. It was that way back when Tarkenton and them guys played. It's flyover country. And
it's like baseball when it comes to trade time. It's like, oh, who are the Yankees going to get from the Twins? Or who are the Mets going to get from? Who are the Cubs going to get?
It's the big markets. Yeah, it's the big, especially for baseball.
Yeah.
Who are the Dodgers going to get? Who are the Giants going to get? It's the big market teams. With teams like
especially when they have no salary cap. Jesus.
And the Yankees are struggling right now because the Yankees have that archaic no facial long hair rule.
What's that?
The Yankees.
What's that rule?
Yeah.
You can't have long. They don't want nobody. You cannot have long hair, and you can only have a mustache.
Oh, and they still got that rule.
Mm-hmm. And I think it's starting to affect free agents going there.
That's been there since the damn 70s.
Since George Steinbrenner took over the team.
Well, his son is running the team now, I believe.
Yeah, but he kept the rule.
Oh God. Sorry.
So you have guys who played their whole career with a beard, and then they get traded to the Yankees and they got to shave it off.
Oh God, who was that had a beard and he shaved it off when he got to the Yankees? There was a couple of players. Didn't Boggs have a beard and he had to shave it?
One of their current players had a beard before he joined, and he had to shave it when he joined. It's like he had like his beard his whole. He's not like not Jeff Reardon, but a guy like Jeff Reardon had his beard, and he joined the team and he had to shave it off.
Oh jeez.
What's his name? The guy who played for the Twins. Donaldson.
Josh.
Josh Donaldson got traded. He had to trade off his beard. He's never had a beard. Yeah. Yeah, so it looks like Sarah lost her connection. But that's
Right.
fine. This is a good place to end it. We've been talking 2 hours.
Yeah.
So remember, guys, the game is Saturday at noon.
It's a Saturday afternoon game. First game of the day on Saturday.
Yes, on NFL Network. If you guys have NFL
Yep.
Network,
It's NFL
or
Network.
local TV, probably if you're in the Twin Cities. I think I don't think the Bengals. I don't think Browning is going to be able to do against the Vikings defense. Because Brock Purdy and Browning are pretty much the same. If there was the anticipation, they don't have strong arms, and the Vikings were able to stop the 49ers. I think they're going to just double team not T. Higgins, but Chase. That's the only worry, but their defense is just as bad as the Vikings' offense, so that's a wash. So I want to say with Mullins starting, if Dobbs was still starting, I would say it's an L, definitely. But if it's Mullins, I think they have a chance to win because I don't trust Cincinnati's defense. I trust Cincinnati's defense less than I trust the Vikings offense, if that makes sense.
I'm gonna see what happens with the
Good night, Mama.
good night. I'm gonna see what happens with the injury report, see who's gonna
Yeah.
play, see who isn't. But
Well, that's why I didn't give a prediction. I'm just saying.
yeah.
You know,
But right now the game looks pretty even on paper.
yeah.
With a slight edge going to the Viking defense. Let's just
And the Vikings are on the road, which is another
Right.
edge for them.
But you're going to need the defense to keep playing the way it has. And now that the defense got that shutout, when you're a defense, you kind of smell blood in the water. So you're going to go out there and play like road beaters no matter who it is. So
it's not going to be 3-0. I can guarantee that.
It won't be 3-0. The NFL will make sure of that. But
17-10 maybe.
20-17.
Yeah.
13-10. You're not going to have a lot of points. So be prepared for that. But it won't be 3-0. If it is, something's wrong. And there's something wrong on the Vikings offensive end.
Yeah.
So,
sorry.
I was just going to say thank you, everybody, for watching tonight.
So we have our Wednesday show of Vikings history. If you guys have an idea, let us know.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't decided what we're going to talk about yet. And then this Friday is our bi-weekly show, Status of the NFC North. And depending on what happens Monday night, could be a spicy show. So we could be, I don't know. I think the Lions are turning into the Lions right now. So this is what Tony and I predicted. We watched this team for 30 years. This is the Lions. They don't know.
We said the Lions do Lions things.
Yep, they don't have the tradition of winning. They don't know how to win.
Right.
And I think that's coming back to bite them right now.
Right. Davey Chains, you missed the last vintage show. That's the one we did on the Purple People Eaters.
Right. Or the last Status of the North.
Which one did you miss?
Either one, you can go to my channel or you can go to Yogi's channel and watch it back.
Okay, yeah, you missed. That's the Purple People Eater show is the one we did last week. So I had to dig back in the archives for that one. So yep, that's the one.
Yeah.
So this week we don't know what we're gonna do. We've got a few topics that we're gonna delve into.
Oh, yeah. So Davey, go back. The Purple People Eaters is actually one of our shortest ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was definitely our last week's show. You can go back. But if the one show that if you guys in the chat have not watched that we've done, and you want some levity, if you're having a bad day, watch our one on the Vikings Love Boat. It'll fix your bad day in a hurry.
It'll bring a smile to your face.
Yes.
Literally.
Yeah. So, but if you guys have any ideas, like I said, we've done Sarah. Sarah did the idea for first round picks. I think someone brought up the Purple People Eaters, so that's what we did. The Purple People Eaters.
That was actually the guy that brought up the Purple People Eaters was Nug,
Yeah.
the Lions guy.
Yeah. So, whenever, like I said, so if you guys have an idea, let us know. If we're on another show and you have an idea for it, let us know as well.
Yeah.
Because Tony has a show. You're doing your Tony Takes tomorrow.
Yes, I will.
Yeah. So Tony has his Tony Takes tomorrow. Then we have the vintage on Wednesday. Then we have the Friday show, Status of the North, and then Saturday, I do a live streaming of the Vikings game with Yogi, and then we do the post game show. So that's pretty much set for the week. That's our live shows. I'm gonna start doing recorded shows here. I don't know how well it's gonna be, but
Oh, that's a good one, Sarah. Biggest draft steals.
Moss is probably the biggest one.
Yeah, because he fell to us.
Yeah.
Moss was definitely.
You guys think the Wolves knew the old Burt Rozier?
That's a good question, Davey. I don't know how much history the Wolves really know about this team.
They're Giants fans.
Prior to 1998, because they're Giants fans. So unless somebody sat down there and talked to them about it.
Unless Bud Grant said something to them.
Like a Bud Grant, which, yeah, there's a story there too. I'll tell you off air about the Bud Grant thing. But yeah, so I don't know how much history the Wolves really know prior to 98.
Yeah. So, there really wasn't much to talk about this game.
It was a win, but it didn't feel like a win.
Yeah, kind of like the Packers game when Cousins got hurt.
Yeah, when and they put up 24 points in that game, won by 14, and it felt empty. This one is a head scratcher from start to finish, but we got the 3 points. We got the win. That's all that matters. A win is a win, no matter how you get it.
And an ugly win is far better than a beautiful loss.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we would like to thank everybody for joining.
Frozen, when I'm able to talk about the Bud Grant situation that I know, I will bring it up. But right now, I cannot talk about it.
There's a lot of stuff in the background.
There's a lot of stuff in the background that people don't know about. I'm kind of privy to it. I keep it that way.
Even with a certain injury to a certain player.
Yeah. It's with who I know.
Yeah.
But when I get the time, I will talk about it. I will bring it out to the open.
All right. Well, we'd like to thank everybody for joining, and we will see you guys in the future.
I know you're scared. Yeah, I do too. If I were you. I know you're scared.